Good morning, traders. So how do we trade the DAX this morning? So as I said yesterday, I was a little bit hesitant to go long at the top, and you can see we did pull back ever so slightly. And we are on the 4-hour, and if you look at the oscillator here, Williams percentage R, we have headed off from the overbought territory. Okay, now I've put some lines in here, and we do have the making of a flag. We'll see it better on the lower time frames, but the one that I'm interested in, and we're still waiting, well, I'm still waiting for this 12,300 area. Okay, so that is the 200 moving average on the 4-hour, and I would like to see us come back to that area, form a base, and then give us an opportunity to get long again. Okay, so we can come down to the 1-hour, and you'll see we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves inside the wedge with 2 touches at the top, 2 touches at the bottom. I'd like to see at least one more touch, top or bottom, which would then start strengthening this wedge for me. Okay, so we have dropped below the alligator, and you can see on the hour how we gapped below it, we stayed below it, and then basically that break below was tested. Okay, now the interesting thing for me right now is that the oscillators after one day are grouping at the bottom. Okay, so get down to the half hour and you'll see what I mean. So we closed off quite high up, gap down below, and continued for most of the day. So what am I looking for? So I am still looking for a long entry, not necessarily where we are right now. Maybe another visit, which is to me would be the most logical one, another visit to this trend line, which coincides nicely with the 4-hour 200 EMA. And this green line here is the long-term uptrend line that we have in. Okay, so if you look at the daily, you'll see that is the current uptrend line. Okay, and the other thing on the daily is that we have broken through the alligator, and you would expect us to come back and test the break. Okay, so you would expect us to come back, test the break. If the test holds, then we can look for more upside. If it fails, like it did here last month, see we broke above. You see here we broke above the alligator. We tested there, and we rallied away. And then we came back to test it a second time, well actually a third time, because there was a first break of the first part of the alligator. There's a break of the proper alligator and a second break. And that one failed, and then we fell off. Okay, so for now, extreme long-term trend is down, and what we want to do for that one is just do this. Okay, I'm going to just do that because it lines up nicely. 4-hour. Okay, so this downward trend is the long-term downtrend, which is up, but the short-term trend is up at the moment. So long-term we're down, short-term we're up. All very confusing, and that's why you need to pick a single time frame and trade that one time frame. Okay, so for me, I am waiting. I'm not interested in shorting at the moment, and I'm waiting for 12,300, 12,310, 12,300 to see if we get any sort of bullish price action there, at which point I will be looking for long entries. Everything else at the moment on the half hour is indicating that we have a potential, I won't say bottom forming, but that this is a bit of a retracement right now. And before we close off, let's just have a look what DAX futures. DAX futures right now is flat, 12,336. We close at 12,345. So we're within this area. I do expect another gap down today. And then it's going to be a question of where do these buyers step in. Okay. Now, the reason why I am still pretty bullish is buyers stepped in pretty much, let's take it from here. So buyers came in buyers came in here and they continued buying. So over 3 days they bought, and now we're gently pulling back. It's not falling away quickly, it's just gently pulling back. If you look here at the oscillator here, for the 3 days while they're buying, it was overbought, and then they stopped buying. But there's no selling happening. This is really just profit taking. There's no high, large volume of sales that are happening. Okay, and it was also typical for a Monday. So what I'm waiting for is, I still have a feeling this flag is going to play out. So I'm looking for that entry. So 12,300 is the area that I'm watching. As soon as we start getting some decent bullish price action, and to me it'll be on the 12 or the 30 minutes. That'll give me a fairly good indication of what's going on. And you can see on the 12 minutes how we're bouncing off the 200 moving average. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm waiting for. Okay, we can maybe do this. Put your lines in. Those are the lower side fractals. These are the upside fractals. So it's this fractal and this fractal that you're looking to break. So a break above this fractal is 12,1357, and a break below 12,337. Those are your two levels. So a break below should give us a retest of this downward trend line. A break above is going to give us a retest of this downward trend line here. Okay, so that's kind of the short-term plays. Ideally, what I want to see is a move down to this bottom trend line, and that is a point where I'll get in long. Okay, and then it's going to be a case of watching. We get down to here. You're watching this trend line here. That's still 57 points. So you're watching this trend line here to see whether we're going to get a break. If we do get a break above it, that's going to validate this flag. Okay, and if we validate the flag, you can see we have a fairly significant potential move, pretty much right the way back to 12,730, and you can see how it lines up with these tails here. Okay, so that's kind of, as far as I'm concerned, what the bulls are trying to do. They have driven it up. They've taken some off the table. They're waiting, like I am at the moment, and just waiting for the right entry. And preferably, for me anyway, it would be a retest of this 200 moving average on the fall at the 12,300 or 12,310, 12,300, somewhere in that area. That to me is the spot that I want to be long again. Okay, anyway guys, that's the DAX for today. Hope it helps, and yeah, keep those stops safe, and I'll catch up with you later. Cheers for now.